So yesterday's class we understood about or actually we created one framework application. We are yet to create implementation. And in process of creating an application, you observed somewhere theme it is asking for, and then it is asking for some operator ID creation in between. And if you are trying to create one operator ID, generally four roles will be applicable, and here it is asking like hardly one or two. So maybe based on the role what you provide there, the next portal should be decided, right? That is where user role and manager role will be trimmed out. We have understood that. Okay, and then we understood something about like how to get change password screen or how system is having its OOTB design. It is having some inbuilt design, right? So about updating a password or maybe something like generating change password screen. And maybe if I'm updating how it is like turning off from the next time and what are its column names in database table and how it is like setting flag as true or false. What might be the possible scenarios on that with the real clients? Everything we clearly understood. Now let us understand something about creating one implementation application. And as I yesterday told you, to create an application, you need not log in its connected applications also. So if city is your client, there might be different sectors, right? So if I wanted to create a new application here, it's not mandatory for me that I have to log in that chain itself. Okay, I can log in some any corner of that organization and create some other applications. It doesn't mean that I'm supposed to work on these applications. So I have every application created directly from Pega platform only. So here I log in, and maybe if I'm creating a new application I can do that. Okay, so now let's as of now we are having Pega platform application and something like our framework application, right? You can log in here or here. So let's log in maybe from this Pega platform. And then let's create new implementation somewhere below. And in this process, we should not choose build from scratch. We are already having a framework, right? So we are supposed to use the existing one. And in the real time, when even if you're creating something, your first application, there might be some frameworks purchased by that time by your management. So initially I log into Pega platform. I'll start creating with my own framework. By that time, there might be extra frameworks purchased, right? It will be showing you in that panel. So you have to select that, and then on top of it, you have to create new frameworks also. Okay. This you as a developer, you will not get chance anytime. Maybe the high level architects, they will be part of this application creation process. Let's start creating one implementation. Let me open that respective document. Implementation applications. Okay, so create new implementation application with the name SCB loans. Okay, and use our existing SCB bank framework. This is our existing framework application. And let's create new operator ID. And after we log in,
Exit to Soda Computer.
so there you should see the earlier framework connected also. How to check for framework? No, no, right. Okay. Saurabh, can you please go on mute? We are not talking. So let's again log in with our main credentials, that is administrator. This is OOTB operator ready, you know that. And remember, PRPC is 200% case sensitive. Everything is case sensitive. Okay. So click on login. So when I say case sensitive, so you'll be having few scenarios also sometimes. Suppose if you are a developer and if you are supposed to work on screen number 1. Okay, and here I wanted to first search for whether customer is already existing or not. Okay, consider this as our credit card application. So if you go for a bank, There might be chance of you asking for new credit card, or there might be a chance of you upgrading your existing credit card, right? So the screen number one, there might be like two options or two radio buttons: new customer or existing customer. If I'm selecting this one, it should ask me something about like credit card reference number or whatever it is. So based on this, if I click on search button, it should supposed to hit the table and retrieve some details. This is what expected functionality everywhere. So here in our database table, his credit card reference number might be HDFC slash 1234 slash 456. So this might be his reference number. And out of which this one and this one, that is prefix and suffix, is for our bank reference. And he will think this as his registered number. So if he's saying like 1234, that is enough for us. And if I click on search button, it is supposed to hit the table, and under particular column, it is to look for this, right? And this as a whole, if it is looking out, it cannot identify. In between, it is supposed to add its prefix. So it is doing some prefix addition on the existing input and then checking out, right? So what I'm trying to say here is whatever the data I am trying to enter, it is to be updated with something extra content. Okay, even in some websites, if you are trying to enter your PAN card number, okay, you'll try to enter your PAN card number. It might be like entering in your lowercase, but automatically it will be updating itself to uppercase, right? So this technically we are calling it as edit input in Pega. So as I earlier told you, Pega is 100% case sensitive. If you are trying to enter something in different sensitivity, it must throw an error. It will not understand. But there will be a concept of edit input, that is entered information will be auto corrected. Here I am entering 1234, it is corrected as with this prefix and suffix, and it is corrected everything as uppercase. So how to implement these requirements, there you have to know. Okay, but for now by default it is 100% case sensitivity. And if you try to log in with something like uppercase here, it might throw you an error. So let me click on login. So it should take you to Pega platform. You know this. Maybe if you are logging with your framework operator ID, it will take you to the respect application. Whatever it is, from there, I can go for creating a new application. Okay, now it will ask me whether this is something zero application or on top of something existing. Okay, so we created a new application yesterday, right? That is with the name SAB. So I'm supposed to choose this. And earlier we directly used this one. Even as I told you, when you're creating a framework, if your company has purchased any frameworks by the time, you should see there. So you'll select that OOTB framework, and on top of it, you'll create your own framework. Okay, that's fine. So let me go for existing framework, that is SAB. I'm trying to use this. After I'm trying to use this, it is showing me a screen, what type of application you wanted to build. Again, just like one more round of confirmation. Let me again click on this one. Okay, and it is saying like that there are no case types to clone. You don't know what is case type still. For now, let's click on continue. And then it is saying like that there are no data types to be cloning out. Still not a problem. Click on continue. Okay, now directly you got a screen asking for application name. Here I have to define SCB loads. Okay. In this whole process, is it showing you anywhere theme? Just unmute and talk. Is it asking where anywhere about like theme selection? No,
No.
right?
No.
No. So every application, maybe a framework or implementation, it must have some look and feel, meaning there must be some theme applicable. Yesterday for framework, so we have selected somewhere like theme Cosmos or Constellation UX, some theme should be guaranteed selected. But here for this implementation, it is not asking for theme. So it should derive some theme, right? No doubt. So what must be the theme? It must be based on framework. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Everyone agree with this?
Yes.
So we are trying to create this by linking to the framework. Framework theme should be derived here. So everyone agree with this statement? Yes, right?
Yes, Chandra.
Yes. Okay. You note this point. So maybe after 2 minutes, if I ask the same question, you should still answer the same. So I'm giving it as SCB loans. I'm trying to define my application name as SCB loans. So is it again necessary for me to click on this? Or can I directly click on create application?
Yes, we need to click on advanced configuration.
What for?
No
Edit.
need to click on advanced configuration.
Okay.
We can directly
Yeah.
create.
Yesterday we thought of clicking this link mandatory because by default its application type will be framework, right? Sorry, implementation, right? And then by default its type will be implementation. Here I'm trying to create implementation only now. What is the necessity for me to click on this link? Should I have to open the settings now? Can't I directly create an application? You should click on this link. Why? Because if I click on this, so you'll see its application type as implementation. Okay, I'm okay with that. And by default, based on the name what you provide, ID will be generated. I'm okay with this also. What about the organization name? So it is still showing random. Am I correct? It is still showing random. Am I correct? Yes, right? So if I again click on this one, it is showing something different random name. So now the famous interview question here is, initially, when you are creating framework, it is asking for so and so theme, and system will not know what will be your organization name. It is showing some random. There we updated as SCB. Okay. Now I'm trying to create implementation. Implementation is not built from scratch. It is based on the existing framework. It did not ask for the theme. So there, what did you say? So since it is connected with framework, above theme is derived. That is what we understood. Now this implementation is part of framework. Meaning, so the above organization, can't it be derived? It should be. Yes, right? Above organization name should be blindly derived. Yes, right?
Yes, Chandra.
Yes, but it is not getting derived. Why? This will be your interview question. Okay, if you are planning to go yourself as like a Pega architect, okay, as I told you, as a developer, you will not get application creations chance at all. Okay, you'll showcase hardly as 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, right? So their application creation chance 200% you will never get. Maybe if you're having 10 or 15 years of industry experience, and maybe internally if you are trying to jump to Pega project, so you are considered as an Pega architect without much Pega experience. You are supposed to be part of high level exercises. There you might see this as little confusion. So I'm creating one implementation linking to framework. I could see theme derived. What are the case types you created? It will be derived. Whatever the data types it is created, it will be derived. So that is where you have seen in these screenshots. So it is saying like that there are no data types, meaning in framework, you did not create data type. You don't know what is data type. That's different story. You did not create anything like case types. For creating implementation, it is saying like that there are no case types to be cloned out, that there are no data types in parent to be cloned out. Okay, every time it is looking for parent, but organization name, why it is not looking for parent? So is this implementation not part of our organization? 100% it's part. So it must be deriving, but it is not deriving. Why is it so? For that, or earlier they used to blindly derive it, but later PRPC has removed this deriving process. Okay, this is somewhere disturbing their business. So what is it like disturbing there? Let me tell you the actual scenario. So consider if you look at any part of telecom project. Okay, so under telecom, so Airtel will be one vendor, or maybe Geo will be one client, or maybe Vodafone has one client, AT&T has one client. All these are part of telecom network, right? So this Geo application will be similar to Airtel application. This will be similar to somewhere Vodafone application. So if you wanted to start one telecom related organization, so what you can do? So whatever the reusable things Pega is providing frameworks. As I told you, under telecom, there will be n number of frameworks. Under banking, there will be n number of frameworks. Under healthcare, there will be n number of frameworks. Okay, so today, if we all are starting a bank with the name ABC, ABC is our organization, right? Or Access. Consider Access is our organization name. Okay, I wanted to first use this Pega license, meaning I'll take PRPC license, that is Pega platform is what I can use. And here I wanted to start something like loans application where I can purchase their framework also. So first of all, this framework application is created by Pega team and then it is like sold out different vendors, right? So now if you are an developer in this Pega systems, no doubt you will create an application. How generally we are creating an application here, same way an application must be created there. So if I'm trying to create a new application, so what I'll do, I'll give it the name as credit card smart disputes, whatever. I'll create some application name and I'll choose type as framework. Okay, I'll choose something type as framework. Okay, now here what should be the organization name I have to define? Tell me. What should be the organization name? Whatever the screen you are seeing here, same they'll face when they're creating it. What should be the organization name? So should I have to give it as Access as the organization name? No, right? So does this to be sold only for Axis Bank? No, for all the banks. So that is where initially they tried giving Pega as the organization name. Okay, Pega as the organization name. Now, if Axis Bank, if they are trying to purchase this framework, okay, if they're trying to purchase this framework, so it will be included in their applicational panel, right? You'll see this. And they wanted to create new implementation now. Maybe Access Loans is what they wanted to create. And for that, they will see something like build from scratch and this purchased framework. They have to select this. And any new application created, if it is deriving organization name from the existing one, even for this Access Loans application, Pega will be the organization name. Am I correct? Yes, right? Yes, right. Makes sense, everyone? So the same organization name, if it is getting derived, Pega will be the organization name. And in between or below, if they are creating some other applications, everywhere they will see Pega as the organization name. They are working for Access. Still, it is showing as Pega, which is not correct. So maybe a different client like HDFC, if they're purchasing so and so, still they will be having all the applications having Pega as the name derived. So the main one, if they are purchasing and if it is having Pega as the organization, below applications, if I'm creating, choosing this existing one, everywhere if name is derived Pega ne kada vachadi. So this is where, so there is something like business impacted. So that is the reason they are trying to give some random organization every time in between. So no doubt they'll be having this showing out. For creating a new application, even if they're linking to the existing framework, name will not be derived. It will be showing with some random name. You are supposed to correct every time in between. In our case, every application now I have to manually mark it as SCB. Make sense, right, every one of you? Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it is very clear that only theme got derived. So whatever the theme Cosmos you selected there, that is happily derived, but not every other part of framework is derived. The best example is organization's name. Okay, fine. So this is like implementation, okay for me. This is its application ID, okay. And I updated organization name. So within organization, there will be different divisions and different units. So let me tell you with one small example. Suppose Tata is one biggest organization in India. It has got electronics division and it has got IT department as one division. So maybe motors as one division. So jewelry as one division. And internally it is having chroma as one unit. And maybe click as one unit. And TCS as one unit. Okay, maybe Jasper as one unit. or maybe Tanishq has one unit. So this is organization layer is what you call. This we call it as divisional layer, and this is something called unit layer. And that too, there can be again subunits also. Under TCS, you are having TCS Ion as one subunit. So likewise under Chroma, or there might be some other subunits also. So now whatever the application you are creating today, so organization name, it is showing something as SCB, okay. And what about the division name? It is showing something like DIV by default. So if you wanted to change this to electronics, you can change it. And if you wanted to change this to something unit name, you can change it. And in between, if you wanted to generate some extra layers also, you can generate extra divisional layers in between, extra unit layers in between. Getting my point? So these are optional for you. So this is not anything about Pega. I'm not talking anything about Pega in this statement. It is something about our organization structure. So organization will be there, division will be there, unit will be there. These three are mandatory. And additionally, if it is about extra layers generating also, you can do that. So maybe for now, let me generate this one extra. And here, that divisional layer name, I can give it as operations or finance or marketing, whatever it might be. So we are trying to create one loan application, right? We're trying to create one loan application. And for this loans application, so it will be under operations department or maybe recovery department or maybe like finance department, whatever. So let me give something as operations or here operations. IONS operations is something what you can define. So based on the organization name, maybe division's name or unit name, whatever it is, below something called class layers will be generated. So try to observe this for now. In detail, we'll understand this in tomorrow's session. So the class layer, what are generating now? So it is combination of the organization and something about like divisional name, maybe first 4 characters only. And this is blindly your application name and something as work by default getting generated. So don't overthink about this class structure today itself. We'll talk about this tomorrow. But for now, if I wanted to generate some extra divisional layer, I can do it. Else you can ignore it. Understanding, right? So let me go for save. I just try to update the type, maybe application ID and organization name. And additionally, if you wanted to generate any layers, you can do it here. So click on save. So click on save. Okay, now happily you can click on create application. So if I click on create application, background, one application rule will be generated and a database table will be generated. And this application and this table should be properly connected, meaning there must be a mapping rule to be generated. And there will be n number of other things like access groups, access roles. So ARO, access role to objects, n number of connected things will be done. Okay, so you'll not understand all those things today itself, but many connected things will be done. So if you are doing any small mistake during this, everything will be disturbed and identifying and correcting one-to-one is not at all possible. Okay, that is where even in the real time, if a business analyst has done a mistake here, they cannot delete the application. So they are supposed to ignore that and create something new. Okay, and later a developer can do this from somewhere backend, which is like hectic process. That is where it is not encouraged to do any mistake. Maybe in future, any part of development, if you are doing any mistake, not a problem. We are developers, we are supposed to do n number of experiments there. That is fine. But application or the major platform itself, if done wrong, so it will be a problem. Okay, so let's click on create application. So you can see one application getting created. And again, it is asking us to create at least one operator ID, even if you are not creating it from here. Okay, so I have one operator ID for yesterday's application, right? I can log in there and I can create new operator ID for this application also. Something from backend is what we can do. But don't miss creating an operator ID from here itself, just to avoid some extra backend things, which will be early for you at this moment. Okay, so let me define something as chandra@scb.com. As I told you, this must be in email format only, and it need not be a valid email ID also. Okay. And if I click on add, same thing, one new operator ID to be created in my PR operators table. And vice versa statement is one new operator instance must be maintained in its class, whatever it is. Okay, with some random password and with access role as or access as author and linking to my SCB loans application. And in the backend, so force change password that will be kept true, right? You know that, you know. And what we'll do is I can log in, I can copy paste this and log in with this new one. Or I can able to open operator instances directly from here and update my password immediately. And since I'm updating, I can able to turn off changing password option also there. So open operator instances. Okay, someone please guide me how to open operator instances.
Records organization operators.
And you'll see organization. As I told you, in some versions of Pega, you'll see with the name company also. Okay, so operator ID and whatever you just created, it must be there for you. Just open that. Okay, and you can see your access as loans, something author there. And in the security tab, so you click on update password and you update your password. So click on submit. Okay, and you uncheck this one and you can save this. Okay, you can save this, that's it. Log off and log in as evaporator. So just better copy this. I'm logging off and now log in, and you can directly enter your latest password and you should not get change password screen. So it is directly taking you to SCB loan application. You can see this, right? SCB loans. And if we just check for definition, so you will see its ID and name may or may not be same. Okay, so fine. So happily we created both applications and then we are having two different operator IDs. And remember one fact statement, that is in the real time. So your organization structure can be like F1 here, F2 here, and something like implementations. There also may be F3, F4, maybe F5, and some implementations, whatever your structure might be. So today, after you joining company, you will be given access for only implementations, as I yesterday told you or earlier told you. So every one of you will be given with only one operator ID. So you are supposed to log in. Maybe today your manager might ask you to work on sprint one defects of credit card application. Meaning with that operator ID, it will be taking you to this one. And maybe after that, he might ask you to work on loans application with the same operator ID, it might take you to the next one. Okay, meaning an operator can have multiple applications accessing, but only one at a time. Only one at a time. And that too, he will be given access for only implementations. That is what I meant to say. Only for implementations. Maybe after you logging into one implementation, so if you are given with an requirement to design screen number one, you have to design screen number one. And in that screen, it is showing some images to be designed, maybe something like first name, last name, and n number of other things. And there you understood few are like reusable, few are not, few are not. So if you wanted to maintain reusable things, no doubt you should know whether your application is having frameworks or not. So every application, it's not mandatory to have framework, right? So it may or may not have. That too, it can have one or multiple frameworks also. So now if you go to your manager and say like, so is this application connected with frameworks or not? If so, how many? If you ask this. Okay, so or maybe if you ask this, he'll straight away say, are you really experienced or not? Meaning you should be in a position to know whether this connected application is having frameworks or not. You should be in a position to identify. So how many frameworks it is having, what is first parent, second parent. So this you have to cross check. Okay. So after your manager is scolding you, you identified some way to identify these frameworks. Maybe you called your friends or someone, or you called me, whatever. So there I told you some way to identify frameworks. You understood that there are two frameworks. Okay. So now you feel like few things are to be maintained in this framework. Few things are to be into this framework. So then again, if you go to your manager and say that I identified two frameworks and I wanted to create these things in this framework, for that I have to log in. Can you create different operator ID for me if this is what you are asking? He'll confirm me that you are not experienced. He'll straight away confirm me that you are not experienced. So what I'm trying to say here is there will be only one operator ID and you are supposed to be given access for only implementations. So if any application is created connected with frameworks, so you are in turn given access for these things also. Don't ask for separate operator ID for logging into this one. With this login itself, you can do everything what generally you log in and do that. Okay, so I'm somewhere in SCB loans, right? I'm somewhere in SCB loans. I should know whether this is having framework or not. Okay, I'll identify. And within that framework, so I have to first cross check whether my requirement is already there or not. So if it is not there, I should be in a position to create it. Maybe if someone else has created, maybe with some mistake, I should be in a position to correct or delete it. So everything, whatever you physically log in framework and do there, same thing you can log in here and do there itself. Okay, you can do everything in above level. So how to do all these things? This you have to know. Okay, so now our new discussion is about how to identify frameworks now. Okay, and before this, so far we are having Pega platform as top application, maybe framework as one another application, and implementation as one more. So you know operator ready for this, one operator ready for this, and even one operator ready for this. As I told you, in the real time, you will be given only for this access. So you should not have operator ready for this also. So now even when we are practicing, don't do any development with this operator ID login or with this login. Okay, after 1 month or so, okay, after 1 month or so, you people will complain me back saying like, so for all the things I have developed with this login, I could not able to get the next requirements achieved. This is what you people will say. Okay, so in the real time also, you will not be given access for frameworks separately. If you can access here, from there it will be accessed. So forget about this administrator operator ID from now on, and forget about this implementation operator ID, sorry, framework operator ID also. From now onwards, everything should be done with our implementation only, that is chandra@scb.com. In your case, it should be with something unique. Got it right, everyone? Following right?
Yes, Chandra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Just thought of telling you one scenario, but I forgot. One real-time scenario, just thought of recollecting, but I got. Just give me a moment. It's fine. Anyway, after we start some discussion, we'll take it and remember, not a problem. Okay, so as of now, we created one banking related design. So banking related framework is what we created, implementation is what we created, and we are having an operator. And from today, what you are supposed to do is, so you have to start working on two other projects. So one is like one is like insurance project and other one is healthcare project. Okay, and even maybe from today or tomorrow, you will be shared with assignments also. That is project number 4, where you will be given with individual assignments on daily basis. Okay, so total 4 projects is parallel what we're working on. So out of which this is something what we're taking care, and this is of little level 1. Level 1 meaning little easy. Okay, and this is level 2. This is okay, second easy, and this healthcare is like little difficult. So you are expected to complete this maybe at the last. Okay, but parallel it should run out. Okay, so after we understanding in our class, your next immediate action should be do completing assignment shared for that day. So you'll be shared with assignments maybe from today or tomorrow. Okay, so just creating an application is not enough. After creating application, you should understand something classes related structure also. So that is where assignments will be shared maybe after maybe 2 to 3 days. So you are supposed to complete assignment number 1. It will be like serial numbers. You are supposed to follow the same serial numbers so that you'll understand its complexity also slowly. But this is little easy. And after this assignments is done for the day, so it is your next action to start working on your insurance project. So in insurance project, the very first thing is you have to watch the entire video. Okay, so maybe 1.5 hour video is there, right? So you have to first watch that video. Did you start watching that? Did anyone watch that video? Not yet,
Yes,
right?
yes, Chandra, I watched.
Okay, great. So you should first watch that video, and whatever the document we shared, so that is what you have to correlate with this video and document. And here you will be understanding complete all the set of scenarios. And today itself, what you are supposed to do is you should start creating these two applications. Okay, so later, maybe after 2 days, we'll start this. Today itself, you have to start these two applications, create a new application. And for this, city is your organization name. Okay, and city FW, this should be your framework name. Okay, and city insurance. Okay, this should be your implementation name. Okay, and there must be an operator ID created with the name insurance@city.com. This should be your operator ID for this. You may or may not create operator ID for this. It is not mandatory at all. You just straight away create one framework, and from there itself in the same screen, there itself create a new application linking to the existing framework. So this operator ID is enough for that. And today itself, you have to create healthcare application also, and organization name should be Apollo, and Apollo FW should be its framework, and Apollo appointment. This is your implementation's name. So if you have watched this complete video, you'll understand what is this application all about. Try to watch these two videos if you are having enough time today, or you can just take it for Saturday and Sunday also, not a problem. And here also maybe Apollo or appointments@apollo.com. So this should be your operator ID. Okay. So project reviews will start maybe from this Saturday or maybe like next Saturday. So once in 2 weeks we have to do that, right? So since there is nothing much practicals happened so far, maybe we'll take it on the next Saturday. So by that time, okay, I'm setting you some target also. So you are supposed to complete, and you have to call us and show your screen and explain the project, what you have done so far. So for the next project interview, next project review, target is creating these two applications and creating few properties also. By the time property creations task will be done, but you don't know what is property today itself. So I'll set some target. So for today itself, try to complete these application creations as we have done in our main one. So got it right? Everyone clear?
Yeah.
Fine. So ultimately, we created one implementation. Okay, we created one implementation. So my manager has given me one URL and he has created one operator ID. And if I log in, it is taking me to this application. From here, your actual development will start. So whatever happened, that is not your duty. Okay, your actual development will start. And if I'm your manager, straight away I'm giving you a screen and design. That's it. So you should know whether this loans application is having framework or not. If so, how many? So this structure is what you have to know. So to identify our application structure, we can do it in 3 ways. So we can identify our application structure in 3 ways. So the first one is like application definition. So wherever you logged in, for this, if you wanted to know the parent, so just straight away click on application definition. And there, its respect to rule will be opened up. And here you are seeing something called built on applications, meaning this SCB loans is built on what? So here you can directly see one framework application, right? So I can confirm this SCB loans is having something called SCB banking FW. That is what I logged in here and I could identify this definition and see this name. Okay, now this SCB FW might have one more framework also, right? So meaning this definition, if I can get, I can see its parent. Am I correct? So if I log in into this application and if I check for its definition, there I can see built on applications and I can see its parent name. So to identify its built on application, you need not log in into that. So anyway, for today, we have operator ready for that. You can log in and check, but not required. Real time, there will not be such feasibility for it. So how to identify this framework's name? So for that, you can directly click on this open icon. You can see one open icon, right? If I click on this, you can see SCB banking FW, its definition. So yesterday we have seen this screen by logging into that application and checking for its definition. But now I can see the parent related screen directly from here. And built on application, I can see something OOT. If I see something as SCB main FW, I can conclude there is one more framework for this. Okay, from here login itself, I'm seeing its definition. And I should know whether it is having one more parent also. So I can open it from here and I can open from there. So from bottom till top, you can check for every framework and its parent name one by one. So no doubt at the top, it will be stopping you somewhere with OOTP. So we can confirm, or if I'm refreshing my changes, somewhere at the top, you will see an application which is with the name Theme Cosmos. And you might be seeing something as UI kit, or you might be seeing something as React, Cosmos React. And in some or latest projects, you'll see something as Constellation UI. Whatever it is, you are seeing these many themes. Okay, now if I'm trying to open this, we can conclude Theme Cosmos is also an OOTB application. That's it. Now, if I'm trying to open this, I should see its definition, right? And what is its parent name? What is its parent's name? Pega rules, which is our topmost application. Now, if I'm trying to open this, I'll see Pega platform or Pega rules. So this particular screen we have seen yesterday by logging into administrator.com. But now same I can see it here, right? And there is no built-on application for this. This is the topmost application. So I can understand structure somewhere as Pega rules as the top, and it will be having theme Cosmos or UI kit or Cosmos React or Constellation UI. Since I have chosen this one, I'll be seeing framework here, maybe framework 2, maybe framework 3, and implementation 1, maybe 2 likewise. I logged in here, I can see its parent, its parent, its parent likewise. So from bottom till top, you can identify its parent structure, but you cannot identify its sibling structure. So for this credit card application, there might be siblings also, right? That you cannot identify now itself. or you cannot identify. So maybe what is the child framework for this F1? I can access F1, but you cannot access its childs. But because these two are not connected. Okay, so this is one way to identify your parent structure. Everyone okay with this? Yes, right?
Yes, Chandra.
అర్థమైందా?
Yes.
Using built-on
Yes, Chandra.
applications, you can identify one thing. Okay, this is one way of identifying your frameworks. And second way is the left one, as I told you, we have to call it as App Explorer. The left part is completely Explorer, which is like collapsible panel. Now, if I click on App, where actual development happens here only. So here you can see something X numbers. Okay, X applications, some number and applications. Here, click on this, you will see all the applications again. And here it will show with application names. That is Pega platform, Pega space platform, SCB space loans. Meaning it is showing application which is with the names. And here it is showing applications which is with IDs. So Pega rule is the ID, right? Pega platform is its name. So you can see these three applications here. Teams will not show you. Okay, so this is what currently you logged in, and this is something Pega platform. In between, how many are there? You can calculate, right? So I can understand how many frameworks are there in between, and it's a parental hierarchy also. What is first one, second one, third one? So second one is using App Explorer. Okay, and third and very, very important thing in the real time, we'll rely on this. First two things will not help us every time, but you can get some information, no doubt. So now you have to understand third and very, very important thing. So that is using classes. Okay, so that is using classes. What do you mean by this? So now in the same App Explorer, you can see something called classes as one heading, right? Okay, so if I see something classes as one heading, below whatever you see, those must be classes only, no? Those must be classes only. And here I can see something called class, and using which I can identify something like my parental structure. So third one is about classes. So how to identify frameworks using classes? This is what our question. And to understand this, we have to talk something more about what is a class. So it is saying like that class is something and it is showing something by default. So how to identify our parents from here? Or first of all, what is this? And why it isn't editable? I can modify it, right? Why it is editable? And what are all these classes heading? Everything we have to clearly understand. Okay, fine. So for this, something about oops or encapsulation concept is what we're talking about. This is actually Java concept, but I don't want to use Java as the word here. So I wanted you to understand everything as part of Pega only. So then it will be interesting for you. Okay, or if I say something this as Java concept, it might be like little scary for some people. Okay, fine. So consider this as of my development studio. Okay, this is our Pega development studio. And this is something like output screen, what we call it as portal. So as a developer, I'll log in and I'll try to drag and drop and design something. Automatically, output is generated, right? Automatically, output is generated. Okay, so maybe just to get this output traditionally. So this is Pega, right? Traditionally, I have to write Java code. So I have to write Java code to get the same output. So this Java code, maybe if we have observed, everything will be in terms of class structure. Okay, there will be something called concrete class, abstract class, whatever it is, the respect to Java code will be in terms of class structure. So here, after I doing some drag and drop here, the respect to Java code is auto-generated. Nothing but this is generated in terms of its internal design like classes only, no? Java will be having something about class structure. That's fine. So the design, whatever I'm trying to do, it will be generated in terms of classes. That is the reason every application, whatever I'm developing now, system will generate a class for that by default. So whatever the development I'm doing, so same Java code will be generated in its respective class. So in its respective class. So by default, I can see classes as one heading. Everything below should be a class. And this is by default showing. So no doubt this is by default a class name. And if we observe this class, this is something what we got created earlier. Okay. So if I'm creating one application, then and their system is saying like, this is about our implementation page. So then and their system is saying like there will be a class generated for this application. Any development on this application resembles development on this class only. So that is where a class got auto generated. So this is with the name SCB, OPER, SCB loans and work. Whatever the organization name or division name or unit name you provided, based on which one class structure is blindly generated. Here you can see class name as separated with. Okay, you can see this, right? Something as
Shrikant,
please go on, Rajni.
Shrikant.
Let me mute from it. Okay, so here you can see a class getting generated, right? This is dedicated to our application's name. You can see this. This is dedicated to our application name. Maybe if I have not given this one, as I told you, this is optional, right? If I have not given, so the default class name will be this. So maybe in your real time, you might see this as the class name, or you might see something division also in between. You might see something subdivision also in between. But the traditional class structure will be organization name hyphen your application name, whatever you are providing here. So this is under your hands, right? So your application name and something every time you'll see work as the main last one. So every time it will show work only. Okay, consider city is our organization and it is having one credit card application, loans application. So Ravi is one developer here, maybe Rahul is one developer. So maybe if Ravi is logging in, okay, no doubt it will take him to city loans application. There it will show him class name as city hyphen, whatever the name it is, city CC dash work. That's it. And here the Rahul is logging into some Pega application and this Pega application will have a class automatically generated and that is with the name organization hyphen and loans application city loans dash work. So meaning this alone will be keep on changing. Everyone understanding, right? This alone will be keep on changing. Okay. Similarly, if I'm having one framework application at the top, so framework also, it's an application. It should be having a class generated, right? So let me show you the yesterday's application. Yesterday's. Here we go. So this is our yesterday's application. Okay. So yesterday's application. So if I'm trying to select a framework here, not this one. So yesterday's application, you can see HDFC dash FW dash some application name and then work. Everywhere it will be seen, but you have chosen something like FW, you'll see FW layer in between. Okay, you'll see FW layer in between. So overall, city is one client and I'm having something like main FW as one application name and something like bank FW as another application, another framework and insurance FW as one more framework and credit card application, loans application and maybe here medical insurance application and maybe vehicle insurance application. So total, I can see 7 applications. Am I correct? 3 frameworks and 4 implementations. 7 applications and you will see 7 work classes. Am I correct? Every application is having a class created with something ending as work. We call this as 7 work classes generated. Understanding my statement? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yes.
7 work classes must be generated. So now, can anyone tell me, Anusha? So can you tell what will be the class name for this? Default class name for this? It must be city dash city CC, whatever the application name, and then work. Am I correct?
Work.
And what about this application's name?
City dash.
City loans dash work.
City loans dash work.
And what will be the class name for this banking FW? As we understood, if it is like a
City.
framework type, you'll see FW in between. So its name, bank name, whatever bank FW, whatever it is, dash work. And here it will be like city dash FW
City dash FW
dash
slash
work.
insurance dash work.
Work. And here city dash FW dash, maybe main FW dash work. This is what you can say. Now, based on this, I can confirm how many work classes are there. Those many applications must be there. Am I correct?
Yes.
How many work classes you see, those many applications must be created. And how many are with FW in between? Can I say those many frameworks should be there? That's right.
Yes.
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 Here, all the development work, suppose I'm logging in here. I wanted to create something like loan ID. Okay, I'm designing a screen where I want to create first name, last name, and something like loan ID. So you'll say first name and last name is reusable and loan ID is not. So loan ID you have to maintain in this implementation only. No? So developing or doing any development on this application, nothing but doing development on its class only. Okay, so on its class only. So you have to right click on that class and then you create whatever you wanted. So if you wanted to create an image, this is the navigation. Or if you wanted to create a file, whatever it is, this is the navigation. So whatever the development work you wanted to do on any application, you have to right click on its class. This is fact statement. So that is where we are calling this as work classes because all the development work is happening on this one. So if I'm a developer here, if I wanted to create first name, last name, and something like credit card type. So credit card type, I'll right click and create it here. No doubt in this application it is created. And if you are working on loans application, if you wanted to create something like loan type, you'll right click on this class and create that set. So maybe if I wanted to create first name and last name, I wanted to create it here, nothing but on its class. On its class until so don't think about logging into that application. No doubt if I log into that application, it's respect to work class only I'll see there. If I log into SCB banking, whatever the framework, I'll see there as SCB dash FW dash something dash last work. So ultimately, I have to create something on this class. It doesn't mean that you have to log into this application physically. If any operator connected to this application, no doubt parent application must be also connected, meaning its parent class also can be accessed from there to here. So that is the reason they are giving you this as one search text box. I can search for any of its parent classes. That is SCB-FW-work. Okay, ignore all other classes for now. So is this class is what we are not thinking about? Yes, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is what got created yesterday. Now right click on this and create something like first name. No doubt it is like created here itself. So if you wanted to do any development work in above, you should know what is its class name. And that class can be happily accessed here. And you can create whatever you want. You can create a view, modify everything. So if you physically log in and do the things, same things will be like applicable even if you do from here. That is its specialty. So that is where you are seeing this as like searchable text box, where I can search for this one or its parent or anything. Okay. So now I wanted to ask you one thing. So we confirmed that every framework will be having this highlighted part as common. Am I correct? Yes, right?
Yes.
Double till here, everything is common. So I can search for any of its parent classes. If I search for SCB dash hyphen, oh sorry, SCP hyphen FW, if I count for number of work classes, I can count, right? If I can count for number of work classes, based on which I can confirm how many frameworks it is having. Am I correct? Yes, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I log in any application, I can access, no doubt, it's a class. And additionally, I can access its parent classes only. I cannot access these classes. Okay, I cannot access the other frameworks. So here for this particular one, I can understand its parents maybe in 3 ways. First 2 ways we understood. And we are understanding the third way. That is, if I search with CT-FW, I should get this work class and this work class. I can say that there are like 2 frameworks for our implementation. Yes, right. So in that scenario, you'll see like two worker classes, no doubt in it. And can you confirm what is the first framework or what is the first parent? Or can you confirm what is the second parent or third? I'll see total 4 worker classes now. So can you guarantee say what is first one, what is second, what is third, what is fourth? No, right?
Yes.
Can you confirm? What is the first parent and how can you say?
No.
No, we can say how many are there, but we cannot say its hierarchy. Correct, right? You know? Yes. So I'll search for SCB-FW. I can count for number of work classes, meaning I can say that there are those many frameworks, but can you say what is first out of that? What is second parent? What is third? No, right? Hierarchy we cannot say, but we can just say the count. So to identify hierarchy, there is something different way called inheritance. I'll talk about that. Okay, so for now, you are understanding that every application you create, maybe framework or implementation, one work class will be generated. Okay, and if it is framework, you'll see FW in between. And into your respective application, wherever you logged in, you can search for its parent classes and do any development work on top of it. I can search for the class here. I can right click and create. No doubt it is like created there only. And maybe here you again I can search for the same class. Whatever you created from there, I should see it. So that is the concept of reusability, right? Okay, I'll explain about this classes structure tomorrow. So it will be like little theoretical discussion, but to the most possible extent, I wanted this to be interactive and interesting. Okay, today's part,
Oh.
tomorrow's part, it will be little theoretical. And maybe from next day onwards, our actual development or actual practicals will start. Okay, so by that time, maybe till today's session, there is nothing about development. So maybe even if you are not understanding, doesn't matter at all. Make sure from Monday's class, if you can concentrate with fresh mind also, that is enough. Okay, but these are just for your advantage. If you can understand, it will be helpful. If not, not a problem also. Even in the real time, no one know all these things. So there will not be much development related exercises running out of this discussion. But if you are doing something in your project from scratch, maybe in a small project, you will be everything, right? Meaning you are a developer, you are a tester, maybe you are like, you are supposed to deploy your own things, or you are the business analyst, then everything is what you have to clearly understand. Okay, so this will talk in tomorrow's session. Clear, right? Any questions?
Yes.
Clear on that? Okay.